1869. A young woman sits in a borrowed studio on Rue de Chevreuse. She's 19. Her mother is dead. Her father is a bank clerk. She binds books by hand to make enough to eat and poses when someone asks. Someone has asked. He doesn't speak. He looks at her as a problem he hasn't solved yet. She sits still. She has learned to sit still. Her name is Hortense Fiquet. He will paint her 44 times. He will never call her a muse. He will call her a problem. No one ever heard him say otherwise. Paul Cézanne is 30 years old. He's been painting for over a decade and sold almost nothing. His father, a banker from Aix-en-Provence, gives him a monthly allowance. Louis-Auguste Cézanne does not understand his son's work. He does not need to. He holds the money. There are things Paul does not tell his father. Hortense is one of them. 3 years after they meet, January 1872, Hortense gives birth to a son. They call him Paul. Cézanne does not register the child under his own name. He does not write to his father. He does not write to his friends in Aix. He moves Hortense and the infant to a separate address in Auvers-sur-Oise and continues to live, on paper, alone. Auvers-sur-Oise, a rented room. The baby is asleep. Outside, the river, the flat fields, the sound of carts on a wet stone in the morning. She doesn't know anyone here. He visits when he can. He paints when he visits. When he leaves, she is alone with the child and the canvases stacked against the wall. She does not complain. His mother knows. His sisters know. They write to him in careful language, asking him to register the boy. He does not answer those letters either. What Louis-Auguste Cézanne knows about his son's life in Paris. He paints. He submits to the salon. He is rejected. He paints again. He lives cheaply. He needs money each month. What Louis-Auguste Cézanne does not know is there is a woman. There is a child. The child is walking now. The allowance arrives on schedule. Cézanne cashes it and divides it between 2 addresses. This continued for 17 years. Not because Louis-Auguste was a tyrant. He was a banker who came from nothing and did not understand why his son could not do the same. He gave Paul money because Paul was his son. He expected in return a life he could recognize. By the early 1880s, the money was already legally Paul's. He had divided the estate between his children to avoid inheritance tax. Paul had rights to the interest. He could have claimed it at any time. He kept hiding her. His mother urged him. His sisters urged him. Émile Zola, who had known him since they were boys running through the fields outside Aix, who had written to a mutual friend that Cézanne was a man entire, stubborn and firm. Nothing will break him. Zola was lending him money to cover the shortfall. He paid for rent. He paid for groceries. He paid. The man who could not be broken was borrowing from his oldest friend to keep his family a secret from a father who no longer had the legal power to take anything. In the early 1880s, a letter arrived at the family house in Aix. Louis-Auguste opened it. It was addressed to Paul. It mentioned a wife. It mentioned a child. He confronted his son. Paul denied it. Louis-Auguste cut the allowance in half. He denied it. He kept hiding. He kept painting. His mother knew. His sisters knew. Zola knew. His father had read it in a letter. Paul said nothing. The Impressionists hold their 7th group exhibition. Cezanne is not invited. A first-class train ticket from Paris to Aix costs 14 francs. Hortense Fiquet is 30 years old. She has lived in Paris alone with a child for nearly a decade. Zola's latest novel sells 40,000 copies in its first month. The Salon jury rejects Cezanne for the 23rd time. His father does not know he has a son. In the early 1880s, Louis Auguste divided the estate between his children. It was a tax decision, clean, legal, final. Paul's share of the interest began arriving on schedule. The allowance still came. He kept hiding. When the money ran short, Cezanne wrote to Zola. Zola paid. By the mid-1870s, his novels were selling in the hundreds of thousands. Part of that money went to Paul. Part of Paul's money went to the rented room in Paris where Hortense was waiting. In April 1886, the arrangement ended. Cezanne wrote 4 lines, then nothing, for 16 years. October 22nd, 1906. A storm breaks over a field outside Aix-en-Provence. Cezanne is working alone. He collapses. He is taken home on a laundry cart. He dies the following morning. His wife and son are in Paris. He was afraid of women, not uncomfortable, afraid. Villard wrote it plainly. Women, even clothed, frightened him. His largest painting, The Large Bathers, 7 years of work, was painted without a single real model. He worked from sketches made 30 years earlier, from engravings, from his sister's fashion magazines. He painted Mont Sainte-Victoire 80 times. He painted Hortense 44. Later accounts agree on one thing. She was the only one who could come close without him flinching.
He never looked at her, his model later said, only at the canvas. He never named her in any catalog, any letter to a dealer. He listed her alongside apples, mountains, card players. A painterly problem, no different from the rest. She sat for him more than 150 times, more than Villard, more than anyone. She kept coming back. April 28th, 1886. The registrar at the Aix Town Hall records, Paul Cezanne, painter, Marie Hortense Fiquet, without profession. Witness, their son, Paul, age 14. The document is signed, filed. Their son had existed for 14 years without an official record. That same month, L'Oeuvre is published. 4 lines, 16 years of silence. October 23rd, 1886. Louis-Auguste Cezanne dies, age 88. He leaves his son a considerable estate. In 1 year, the man he was hiding it from was gone. The money was his. The friendship that paid for the secret was over. He moved back to Provence. He cut her allowance. She could have followed him to Aix. She chose Paris instead. Less money, her own city. He painted every day. She did not come back. His last letter was written 7 days before he died. It was to his son. He wrote about the painting, about the difficulty of transmitting sensations. He did not mention Hortense. Hortense Fiquet outlived him by 16 years. She died in 1922. In those 16 years, no interview, no memoir, no account of the 150 sessions, no account of the 17 years. Nothing. She never saw any of them. In the catalog entries, she is listed as Madame Cezanne.